Welcome to Huddle. This is the first ever installment. I'm here with Joe Physic
What's
at
up, world?
Joe Physic on Twitter. He's the brains behind this whole operation. He's the one who's going to get this going. He's working on a lot behind the scenes here. Can't thank him enough. I'm Jared Hood at Jared D Hood on Twitter. The D is capitalized. We're at Hood's Huddle on
Twitter and
Twitter
Facebook.
and Facebook. We haven't really done too much with that, but we're going to. We promise we'll get it up there. We're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna talk about this weekend's games. So we're gonna start with the Ravens and Broncos. What Ray Lewis obviously I think is
A
I'm
monster for what he's done this year. I
yeah,
mean, the whole injuries coming back.
doing can he inspire them completely to just go on this entire run? I mean,
I mean,
he had 10 tackles last week, but was his 10 tackles, were they a difference in the game, or
he
was
could have
it
had an interception.
he could
I
have had an
mean,
interception if he didn't have a
it's.
cast on his arm?
But I think he can inspire them for so much, but I don't know if it's enough to ride out the entire playoffs.
But
I
this
think
game, what
that
about this game?
maybe
He's
I give it about
he's
a
0 and
50-50
9
chance.
against Manning in his whole
Yeah,
career.
that's why I think it's so difficult for him because Peyton Manning's just been playing lights out since he came
Is
back.
this a Cinderella story though? Is this I finally did
I
it?
I don't see it happening.
I'm going out beating Peyton, going out. You know what I mean?
I
Is
mean, it
that
could be, and for Ray Lewis's sake, I hope it
does
happens.
he
But
make an
I don't.
impact on this game, win or lose?
Yeah, absolutely, he makes an impact. Oh my
Not
God.
just spiritually, he
Yeah,
makes 10
absolutely.
10 tackle
He'll
impact.
be a solid factor
Okay.
of the game, but I don't know if it'll be enough.
I think the biggest factor in my eyes for the Ravens is Joe Flacco. I mean, I think that he just really
Definitely that, and his wide receiver play has just been pretty outstanding lately. I mean,
Bolden with that.
he's been dropping dimes all over the field.
He threw some good balls against the
He
Colts.
did,
I
he
mean,
did.
weak Colts
They
defense comparative, but
they were go get him, but like he put them right where they had to be, and they
Bolden
did
was a
it.
monster.
He was.
Smith's better than he was last year in the playoffs, which is dangerous for them because Flacco's best game was the last road game in the playoffs. He's experienced. He's experienced in this situation.
He is. He does have experience, but I mean, Manning's a Super Bowl.
Neither of
He's a
them
Super
have
Bowl
been,
winner.
but neither of them been ridiculously successful in the playoffs. Both of them have been kind of successful. Manning's been more successful. Manning has a Super Bowl,
Well,
obviously, but Flacco has played. I think Flacco's played. We'll see. It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs.
it's the
It
playoffs.
all falls on Flacco. I mean, I
It
really
does.
think for the
I mean,
Ravens,
that Broncos defense definitely isn't anything to play around with. They're a pretty solid unit themselves. Von Miller's a beast
that
in that
that
middle.
defensive line, yeah, that defensive line's really good. You got a
James Bush.
veteran in Champ Bailey. Can they exploit the DBs though and the safeties? Kind of a no name misfit group for the
Yeah, it
Broncos.
is kind of a no name, but I mean they've been solid all year.
Oh, I
They've been
mean,
solid.
what, 10 game winning streak? They've
Yeah,
been playing obviously out of their mind lately
yeah.
on defense.
I
18
mean,
points a game, I'm pretty sure,
and
over
Peyton
that streak.
and Manning's been nothing but lights out.
Oh
Who
well,
saw that coming this year? I mean,
yeah, that was up in the air. This is he has a 105 passer rating on the season. That's one of his
it's pretty
highest.
heavy.
Yeah,
It's
that's pretty
pretty
heavy.
heavy.
That's for a brand new offense, running the ball more. Now, do you think it's a game like they had in Baltimore here a few weeks ago? Not but a month ago.
I'd say it's similar.
You think it's
I
kind
think
of
it's a little
really? I mean, the
similar,
Broncos
but
ran them out of the stadium that day. Literally
uh,
45 runs. That was the most
that's
time
true.
anybody ever ran.
I think it'll be a lot tougher this week
That's the most runs Peyton Manning's running back ever had.
with Ray Lewis being back and everything he brings to the table with that defense. But
Ravens are healthier this game than they
they
were that
are.
game.
They're definitely in
I think
better
it's,
shape
I think
than
it's
they
more
were during
competitive.
the first meeting.
Okay,
But
okay.
I think the defenses are going to be tough, but I think Peyton Manning definitely can
You
open
think
it up like he
okay?
always does.
All right. So you think that Peyton's gonna be Peyton Manning in this game?
I think he's
I'm
going
a
to
firm
be.
believer
I
that Peyton's
mean,
the best
I don't go against history. He's 9-0 against him against Ray
against Ray
Lewis.
Lewis. Yeah, yeah. But in the playoffs, he hasn't been. Peyton
Uh,
Manning has been. He's a better regular season player than he has been in the playoffs. And I know it's a whole different nature in the playoffs,
yeah.
and I'm not knocking him,
I
but
mean, the question is the cold weather too. Is that going to get to him?
yeah,
Because that's a
yeah.
pretty big
His stats
factor.
in cold weather have been absolutely horrible over his career, even worse in the playoffs than ever before.
But at the same time, this time the cold
It's a home
atmosphere is
game.
home.
It's a home game.
So maybe he's a little more comfortable. He gets the cheers. He's not getting booed.
Is this
He's
a
not
better
getting
D than
booed.
you ever had with the Colts?
Absolutely.
One of the best DCs ever played with,
Probably
obviously.
one of the
Okay,
best.
all right. Best
He's got
run
a
game
solid
he ever
run
had.
game, yeah,
Best
that
run game he
offensive
ever had.
line's
Yeah.
built.
They're built for it,
Always.
for a Peyton Manning type, and they got.
They
I mean, he
definitely are.
uses his receivers. He could have anybody out there almost, and probably put up some good numbers. He's putting up. Obviously, these receivers are looking pretty good because of him right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you think Ray Rice can move the ball a little bit?
I mean, in
do
order
you
for
say,
them to win, Ray Rice is going to have a big day.
Do you think he's bigger than Flacco, or do you think Flacco's the bigger name in this
Flacco
win, if
might
they
be
win?
the bigger name, but at the same time, they need to make sure that they use Ray Rice.
Can't forget
for
about
everything.
Ray Rice.
Yeah,
You can't forget
just
about
dropping
Ray
him
Rice.
off.
Okay.
But who knows?
All right. So what do you who you got winning this game?
I'm going with the Broncos.
You going with the Broncos?
I'm not going against Peyton.
My heart says that Peyton can't do it in the playoffs. I don't know. He's a Super Bowl winner. I mean, he's had his years, but I feel like we watch the Colts year in and year out win double-digit games, go get a first-round bye, and then lose.
I mean,
my
it
heart
happens,
says,
but this isn't
my
the
heart
Colts
says
now.
my heart right now says the Ravens. I think Ray Lewis. It's one of those stories. You see this, you see this. You can see Ray Lewis finally beating Peyton. My heart just says something's telling me the Ravens are going to come out here with Joe Flacco's going to come out with a chip on his shoulder. Maybe outplay Manning like he outplayed Brady last year.
Possible, but he still lost.
He still lost. Well, I mean that drop pass in the end zone, not his fault. He put that first.
Not his fault.
A missed kick. Come on, you couldn't see that coming. I know. I understand. Listen, it's a team game. You win as a team, you lose as a team. But I mean, that was Flacco's probably best playoff game. This is the next road game after that. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on here to the Packers 49ers, the night game on Saturday.
Pretty good matchup.
Do you think Kaepernick's the biggest story? You think Kaepernick's the timeline here?
I think he's definitely a big part of the story here. I mean, it's his first ever playoff story, and this is a whole different dog going into here.
Playing an experienced Packers D in this situation. Very experienced Packers defense.
You know what the Packers are going to bring to the table
every single time.
Every single time. Rodgers might be a little vengeful.
Yeah, they say he carries a little chip on his shoulder.
Absolutely. I mean,
getting overpassed by the 49ers, being a Cali kid.
Yeah, being a Niners fan growing up.
Played for California in college.
Yeah.
He said he wants to make them pay for not taking him. That was years ago, but do you think he still carries it into this game, into California?
There might be a little bit of personal vendetta there. Not saying that's his motive.
I mean, that offense is beyond good. Even if he didn't have a chip on his shoulder, they're going to go out there and put points up.
Rodgers has been one of the best playoff quarterbacks in recent years.
Yeah, absolutely. That Super Bowl run, but last year didn't play well enough to win that game.
Yeah, they got kicked out first round.
Yeah, well, this is.
Who knows what you're going to see? But I think it should be a good game. But the 49ers defense is tough.
49ers defense ranked
fourth in passing defense and rushing defense. That's pretty ridiculous.
That's some good stats against a really good Packers pass game. Can they get their run game though? They got a 6-headed monster back there. They got a different running back every week. It seems like
they do, but
it's a question mark. If that shows up, do the Packers automatically win this game?
Yeah, if they can run all over, I don't see it happening.
The Packers seem like they throw 100 times a game and still win. I'm not saying that they don't.
If they get some run game, it definitely helps.
Packers D hasn't traveled well this year. Going across country, you think that has a big effect?
I don't know. I think you get hyped for this is the playoffs. You got to get hyped for these kind of things. So I don't know if the jet lag really takes in.
Do you like the Kaepernick? Do you like the Kaepernick switch midseason? And do you think this is the time?
The way he handled it was perfect. But I wouldn't be shocked if they're losing at the end of the first half to see Alex Smith come out in the second half. I mean,
Alex Smith had any shot at starting this game?
That's a shot. But I mean, you've gone with Kaepernick this far. You might as well give him the opportunity. You obviously think he deserves the last. You
made that move in the middle of the season for a reason. This is the reason why I'm here. I mean, it all falls on Kaepernick. Do you think the defense keeps him in it long enough for him to get into a groove and really feel like he can play in this game?
It's possible. The defense could really show up, and I mean, I think they will. I think it's going to be tough, but I don't know if that veteran Packers defense might be able to take advantage.
I don't see Kaepernick winning in a shootout.
Yeah, no.
I don't see Kaepernick. Like, if we have a Saints 49ers game from last year, I don't think Kaepernick can do what Alex Smith did last year.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And
either.
there you go. Is that the experience? You think that's the difference? Because in a shootout, do you have trust in Alex Smith to win that game?
Yeah.
70% completion this year, even though he got
His numbers
benched.
were ridiculous, even when he did. But
that's a different story for a different day. But I mean, I'm just saying here. Do you have more faith in Alex Smith in a situation like that?
I definitely have some more faith with the veteran. There's always some more faith with the veteran because the playoffs are a completely different situation than the regular season.
So I think we're both excited to see what Kaepernick does here. I think we both feel that Rodgers is going to come out and have a solid day. Would you be surprised if Rodgers just came out and laid a dud?
I would be a little surprised.
You don't see that coming at all?
I don't
really see that coming either. I think that the Niners defense is good, but I think Packers will move the ball, put up some points. I think a lot of it lays on Kaepernick. They got to get Gore going.
Yeah,
they got to get Gore going.
They got to get that.
They got to use their weapons. They have to use their weapons. I think they got to win in the trenches too, because that Packers defensive line, few and far between games where they really show up, but when they really show up, they make the biggest difference in games sometimes. They really do.
They definitely do.
So who you predicting to win this one?
I'm going with the Packers.
I'm going to have to go with the Packers too. I really do. I think they're just too overpowering. All right, we talk about the 1:00 game on Sunday, Seattle at Atlanta. I think, to me, this is probably the biggest, the most interesting game of the weekend. I mean, Matt Ryan, do you think it all falls on him here? Is all the pressure in the world?
He's definitely got to prove the world wrong.
Do you think it's on him more, or do you think it's on the team more?
I think there's a little more pressure on Matt Ryan.
You think he's going to take this a little more personal than maybe just a different teammate?
Everyone's saying he can't do it. And, I mean, he hasn't shown up so far.
More pressure on him or Flacco? More pressure on him or Flacco?
Absolutely.
A lot more on him?
I would say a lot. Significant amount more than on Flacco.
If they lose, is this Matt Ryan's last chance?
I don't know. He's been so solid. I don't know if you can get you can't really justify getting rid of him. But if you can't win a playoff game, what good is he to you, really?
What about the coach? Do you think the coach stays?
I mean, again, the records. You can't argue with the record that they had.
Okay. I don't let go of them either, no matter what happens in this game. But I think it's worth noting. I think it's worth being talked about in a situation like that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's possible. Who knows?
Okay.
It could definitely happen, but I don't see it. Do
you think this all though? I mean, do you think it's going to be, if Matt Ryan has a big day, Atlanta wins? Do you think he's the storyline? If he has a bad day, they lose. I mean, he's the make it or break it player here. Okay.
Yeah. He's absolutely, unless they come out and just give up a ridiculous amount of points to Seattle, who's been scoring an awful lot lately. Russell Wilson's been good.
Start off really slow in that Washington game.
Coming across country experience though for the
staying on the East Coast. Staying on the East Coast for this game. Do you think they come out and do you think the house money's on them? Because obviously they're playing with house money. Do you think they pull it off? I mean, do you think they have that magic?
They definitely have a chance. That defense has been solid. I mean, it's tough that they're playing in Atlanta where Matt Ryan's been so good, but it's the playoffs.
It's still the playoffs. I mean, they've had playoff games before and that they have lost. They've come out and haven't looked good.
And the crowd noise isn't going to affect Seattle as much.
No, they play in the loudest stadium in the league. It's just usually reversed. It's on their side. Yeah. Now, Atlanta's had struggled against option style teams. They didn't play that well against Cam Newton either time this year. I think Cam Newton and Russell Wilson are two different quarterbacks, but at the same time, I'm saying they struggled with Cam Newton back in week 2 and even not too long ago when they played again. Yeah. They got scrambling quarterbacks seem to give them a little bit of a fit.
I mean, the Falcons have won those close games, though, still.
They have won the close games. Do you think that's Matt Ryan pulling out, or do you think it's the defense making the stops?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay. All right. Beyond Russell Wilson, what's the biggest key to the Seahawks if they're going to win this game?
Marshawn Lynch needs to do what he's been doing all year. He's been a monster, and if he can keep it up, it's going to be hard to stop for us.
I think they got to bring the D in. I really do. I think they got to get after it on D. They got to bring the intensity they had against the San Francisco team when I think that's when people really started believing in this team, and I think that's solely that game was on the D coming out the way they did. I know Russell Wilson had a monster night, but I mean, boom, if they make another statement though, do you think they can do it? I mean, do you give them a legit chance here going to Atlanta and doing what everybody else has done in the playoffs to Atlanta?
I give them a pretty good chance to pull this one out. It could be a solid outing for them. I mean, everyone's been saying that they can't keep this up forever, and they've still been keeping it up. So
It doesn't seem like anybody's giving Atlanta any kind of love. Do you think they come into a
Nobody.
chip on their shoulder? In that, I mean,
If they want to win, they better. I mean, sure they've earned the top spot, but they haven't proved it in the postseason yet.
all right, direction that you think this game's going in. Who you got winning?
I'm going with Seattle in a close one.
You're gonna take Seattle in a close one. I think I'm gonna take Seattle in a close one too. But we'll just that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a real fun game.
Yeah, that's definitely the game of the week.
And then the game that really no one's talking about: Texans going to Foxborough to play the Patriots.
I mean, can the Texans win? Can they do it? I mean, after they got so brutally pounded.
And after they got brutally pounded, the rest of the season
they
went that way. I mean, it looked like they got beat up in Foxborough and they left their dignity there. Do they come back to Foxborough? Do they wear the jackets? Do they act like that never happened? And do they come out here and make a statement like, hey, we're still that team that was supposed to have the number one spot?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need to come out and play that way, but I don't know if it's going to make a difference.
They're playing Brady, Belichick, and Foxborough.
It's just, that's tough odds.
Playoffs.
That's tough odds. You don't go against that according to history. We all know what Tom Brady has done. We know
they've been too good, I think, at home in this situation. I really do. I think the Texans got to show up some kind of way. Their defense has to come out and play a lot better than they did that game. Play a lot better than they have overall. That was an ugly game against Cincinnati.
That was
an ugly game for the winner. I mean, both teams played ugly. On Saturday.
That was a poorly played game.
You can't play that way and beat the Patriots.
You're not going to beat the Patriots if you play like that.
Does Kubiak get fired? Well, I was talking about that with Smith. Does Kubiak get fired if they lose this game? This is a big disappointment letdown.
This is a
the
big
fact that they're
letdown.
on the road in this game instead of having that week off and this being a home game and then being the number one seed. I mean, that was a big letdown coming to this.
It could be.
He could say he can obviously hush any talks about his job going if they win this game, but I mean, do you give them any chance to win this game? Because nobody else has.
Just the Patriots have just been so dominant.
The bend don't break defense. The
defense
Tom Brady always finding a way to win.
They force the turnovers.
Even if they don't dominate you, it still feels like Tom Brady did way more than your quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's always like, what's going on out there?
It's not fair when you have a future Hall of Famer on your squad. It's not.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think that the pass defense is just gonna be too much. I think Tom Brady's gonna just be a little too much, and
I agree.
We'll see though. I mean,
if the Texans can get some early breaks, maybe get some lucky bounces, I mean, they might be able to do it, but I don't see it happening.
You think J.J. Watt can do enough defensively? I mean, J.J. Watt and the rest of that Texans defense. That Texans defense hasn't been bad all year. I mean, they've had some bad games. They've had some great games. They haven't.
The big thing everyone talks about is the batted balls. They didn't have a lot last time against the Patriots.
No, they didn't.
They said Belichick's bringing out the rackets again to get ready for him.
Well,
I don't know if that had anything to do with it the first time, but
if
it
any
probably
quarterback can figure out how to not get that.
It's probably definitely Tom Brady.
I mean. But then they got to figure out other ways to get to Tom Brady, or even stop the ball from getting downfield.
They need to do something. They need to do something different than they did last time.
I do everything. I don't wear the jackets. I don't listen to the same music. I don't wear the same shoes. I don't talk about the same things. I stay as far away from that day as possible. I do everything opposite and hope that game goes in that direction. So, predictions, you're going with the Patriots here, it sounds like?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Patriots.
I'm going to have to go with the Patriots on a comfortable one, too. That was the first little run-through on Hood's Huddle. Give us some feedback. Let us know how you felt about it. Tell us anything, good parts that you thought that happened, some bad parts, some things that you think we need to work on. Give us some ideas. We wanna get some games going. You know what I mean? We're gonna this isn't gonna be a strictly football show. That's just a start. We'll do some more about other sports and other situations. Maybe we'll get a whole full show going up. But that was a good little test run. So
thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Enjoyed it. Let us know if you just plain don't like us. Maybe we won't come back.
Yeah, maybe we won't come back. Let us know if we were just absolutely horrible and this was a waste of your 20 so minutes.
Hopefully we don't hear that.